Good evening, Matadors. I am your principal, Julie Parks, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to our Back to School Night 2020. Like all things 2020, this Back to School Night is going to look a little differently from our normal, but our enthusiasm is still the same starting a new year with all of you. First, I would like to introduce one of our— Good evening, Matadors. I am your principal, Julie Parks, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to our Back to School Night 2020. Like all things 2020, this back to school night is going to look a little differently from our normal, but our enthusiasm is still the same starting a new year with all of you. I think that must be playing in one of our rooms. Okay, well, that wasn't normal. That must be playing in one of our rooms.
You won't be able to hear yourself for now.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay, crisis solved. We hope. So I said it wasn't going to be normal, and that certainly wasn't normal. And I hope that that wasn't what is being experienced in classrooms. But this is my first live stream, so I'd like to welcome you again to Back to School Night. And I'm hoping for a flawless performance from here on out. My apologies for the echoing on my computer. It is my pleasure to begin tonight by introducing one of the members of our governing board, Dr. Chris Severson.
Hello, Mirabani parents. I just wanted to give a quick introduction about myself. I'm a Mirabani graduate myself and a parent of a current junior at Mirabani. I've also had 3 kids that have also been at Mirabani before our current junior. Like Julie said, I'm a member, one of 5 members on the Acalanes Union District Governing Board, and have been for a couple of years now. And before that, I was actually on the Orinda School Board. So some of you may have seen me from that. My one message tonight is that, the board members, myself, were available to talk to, and so certainly reach out to us if you have any concerns about all things school. One big goal that we have this year is to not be like Washington, D.C., where trust levels are low. We would like trust levels in this government to be high. So again, please reach out to us. And we're not super high profile, and we're not super well compensated, as in we're not compensated, but we want to do all the good things that we can for all the kids in this district. So thanks so much for giving me these couple of minutes.
Thank you, Dr. Severson, and thank you for all the work that you've been doing for us over the last few months. We are very grateful. Next, I would like to introduce my amazing team. Sarah Harris is returning as Associate Principal, working with students with last names M through Z, and we are very happy to introduce our new Associate Principal who came to my rescue with the YouTube faux pas, Bruce Duran. He'll be working with students with last names A through L, so I'd like to hand it over to them to introduce themselves.
Thank you, Julie, and welcome again, returning and new Matadors. An excellent school like Mirabani is not possible without the inclusion of stakeholders, including parents, teachers, students, and community members. My commitment this school year, as we begin in distance learning and the uncertainty of what's ahead, is to ensure that opportunity exists for all of our students. This entails upholding the mission and vision of Mirabani and continuously keeping pace with the changing needs and expectations of students and staff. In order to do this, I must be a role model and a reliable, trusted resource. Understanding my moral compass and values are key to my commitment. I will maintain my professional work ethic, integrity, and basic human decency while embracing diversity and welcoming all students. It is my humble commitment to show respect, ensure that all members of the school community feel safe, and make sure I am confronting institutional bias so that all students have access to a bright future. Thank you.
Bruce, you're on mute.
That's my faux pas now. I was saying I thank you for having me this evening, and I want to thank you all for welcoming me into the community. It feels good to be a Matador, and it's great to meet your children. It's also great to meet a lot of the individual parents I've spoken to already. My focus is mainly on not only on the academic side, but also on the personal growth side for our students. I focus on our diversity and inclusion, our student intervention, and just want to make sure that our students are growing into young adults who are going to be leading our nation in the future. And I want to make sure that they do so with a good head on their shoulders. And you can trust in us here at Miramani and myself that we are going to be doing the best we can to support you and your families in that.
So we're going to take a moment just to talk a little bit about that why. You heard from Bruce and Sarah just a moment ago, talking a little bit about what they're here to do and their whys. Well, let's talk about connecting with our why here at Miramani. We are now in what I think of as distance learning 3.0, an upgrade on the first emergency plan that began as we went into shelter in place on March 13th last year, that later evolved into a more complex and targeted version that incorporated synchronous learning in late spring. In the spring of last year, we learned a lot. We learned the value of in-person connection, even over a screen. We learned that our students needed more streamlined systems for accessing curriculum and materials. We learned that daily routines and consistency were essential for ensuring all students were actively engaged in learning. And we learned that we can make our Miramani vision a reality, even if we are not physically on campus. As we plan at Miramani, we keep our why in the center of what we do. And at Miramani, the why is simple: equity. It is literally the mechanism through which we make our plans and all of our decisions. Because this is what our students require to meet our vision, that all students can learn and connect at high levels. With this at the center, we can meet any challenge in determining how to implement any initiative to achieve any what we want for our students. For the remainder of this evening, we will hear from various community members about our why. Our why is comprised of three major areas of focus, all driven by the overall goal of achieving equity in our school culture, system, and structures. These major areas are excellent teaching, student support, and a safe and healthy culture and climate. And so with that, I would like to bring our department chairs into the room to discuss what excellent instruction means to them. Excellent instruction at Miramani will involve three major areas of focus this year. First and foremost, we are introducing our new learning management system, Canvas. Canvas is a powerful system that will allow students, teachers, and parents to access the most important learning information in one place. It replaces the more diffuse technological systems that we had in place last year, allowing all information to be found on a single site. Our transition has been intense and teachers have been working for several weeks to learn how to best use this platform for learning outcomes. While we will likely have stumbles over the next couple weeks as we fully adapt and integrate, I'm confident we will find the system to be superior to our previous methods. Canvas assists us in housing both forms of instruction that we will be delivering this year, synchronous and asynchronous learning. Synchronous learning, which is a best practice for students having personal connection with their class and teacher, is also required by our state. Synchronous learning will take place on Zoom with links accessible on the Canvas platform. During synchronous lessons, students will have the opportunity to discuss, process, and receive direct instruction. Asynchronous learning will complement the Zoom meetings and will consist of students completing work independently on thoughtfully constructed modules. Used together, we will be able to meet all essential standards and achieve learning outcomes for our students. Now, I would like you to hear a bit from our teachers who will be facilitating this instruction.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Arasek, and I'm the English department head. And our purpose, we've talked a lot about it as department. So we believe that all students benefit from learning skills, habits, and information that will help them to be respected in their lives, both professionally and personally. This includes making claims and backing them up with evidence. We understand the transformative experience of literature, nonfiction writing, and media, and know that they develop perspective and empathy. Our department is deeply committed to providing a diverse and culturally relevant curriculum and using teaching practices that respect and celebrate the diversity of our communities. Thank you for all the support you give to us and our students.
Good evening, Matador families. I am Brian Henderson. I am the math department chair. And I guess what I wanted to share with you guys was that a couple of core values that I've always had as I've taught over the vast number of years that I've taught is I think it's really important to make a connection with students as well as continue to learn as an educator to get better and better at our craft so that we can then share that with our students. As we start this year on a distant learning path for at least some time now, we've got an added twist to that challenge at the beginning of the school year of making those connections. So I want to make sure that you know that we're going to use some flexibility, some adaptability, and as I not only speak for myself, but also the math department, that we are also truly committed to using those learning tools as we learn new systems, new tools of technology. We're going to make sure we make those connections, and we want to make sure that we thank you also for all of your support because we're going to need it more now than ever. And I will pass off to Kelly Ginocchio.
Good evening. I'm Kelly Ginocchio, and I am the department chair for social studies here at Miramonte High School. And our social studies department is committed to nurturing and enhancing every student's understanding of history, government, economics, and psychology through the study and analysis of diverse perspectives, development of an inclusive curriculum in which all students see themselves in their studies, and that reflects the agency and complex interaction of cultures, ethnicities, religions, and races. We recognize the importance of engaging all students in the study of history in order to better understand current events and to encourage students to be attentive, active, constructive global citizens. We recognize that the theme and problem of race and racism needs to be more explicitly addressed in a sustained and systematic way in all of our courses. And we will collaborate throughout the year to achieve diversity, equity, and inclusion in our curriculum. Ultimately, our department looks forward to developing a love for history and social studies so that each student will acquire critical thinking and writing skills that they will be able to utilize as they move forward. Thank you. And now I introduce Mr. Gaudet.
Hi, I'm Sareth Gaudet, chair of the science department. We're confident that if we focus on building relationships with and among our students while on distance learning, that students can learn the key scientific skills, whether it's how to design an experiment, analyze data, or argue from evidence. We're also determined to make progress towards showing that Black Lives Matter in science. While our traditional discussions of the history of science have traditionally left out Black, Indigenous, people of color, and while BIPOC are sorely underrepresented in many fields of science, our goal is to include race as a topic in each unit of all of our courses, either through highlighting diverse scientists active today, revising our depiction of the history of science, addressing the science of skin color and the pseudoscience of race, or by directly addressing the own. And I'll introduce Sean.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sean Hennessy, and I'm the Department Chair for Physical Education. Really, our goals and our values haven't changed in distance learning. Yes, it's more challenging with the distance learning component, but we still value lifelong fitness. We still value lifelong activity. And we still value making those connections, and we're going to try to make those connections both student to student and teacher to student using the technology we have available for us. We'll utilize breakout rooms in Zoom to make sure the students are interacting with each other, and we look forward to a challenging yet rewarding year. Please reach out to any one of us in the department, Ms. Nicolosi, Ms. Gunn, or myself, if you have any questions or concerns, and go Mats. And I turn it over to John Grigsby.
Matador families, welcome to Back to School Night. I am the Career Technical Education Department Chair. I am representing digital electronics, computer science, and our culinary arts program, as well as our sports medicine program. Similar to, as Mr. Hennessy said, we are not changing too much. Unfortunately, these are elective courses, and your students chose us because we are the hands-on course. We are still going to do our best to bring hands-on activities to your homes, and we are going to do our best to teach your children to be career professionals. In the CTE department, we want you to have these career technical skills to utilize as excellent citizens no matter where you are in society. So I look forward to working with all your children, as do the rest of my department. And with that, I pass it on to Senor Flores. Thank you very much, Matadors.
Good evening. I'm Megan Flores. I am the World Language Department Chair. And I would like to just let you know that as the 4 languages that are offered at Miramonte High School, Spanish, French, Mandarin, and Latin, we are committed to continuing to educate our students to become fluent speakers in each language and to really dive into the cultures. So our goals for the department is, as language teachers, we are committed to providing our students with a deeper understanding of the cultures and diverse populations of our world. It is our goal to foster an appreciation of diversity, promote tolerance and acceptance of all people, and instill the idea of human dignity for all. With that, I would like to hand over to Mr. Pete Clausen.
Hello, Matador families. This is my 23rd back to school night, and it is the most unique, of course, of all of them. And after just like 23 back to school nights, I've had 23 starts to the years, and this is like no other. For sure, I've seen a lot of changes over the years, but on the first day of school, as usual, and by the way, I'm the special education department chair. I don't think I mentioned that. In 23 years, I've never decided to play the Brady Bunch theme song on YouTube with my students. As someone who grew up in the 1970s, I thought the best activity to introduce each other would be to play that song, and I sang along, and we all said hello to each other in the true Brady Bunch fashion. And it's about making the best of the situation, and that's what we're trying to do here and stay positive. Our 2 main goals that we've always had prior to this year have always been about increase in self-advocacy as well as helping students gain independence before they graduate. And what a better chance that we have right now than to help let that grow in terms of self-advocacy, as well as letting our students become more independent with our support. With that said, I'd like to pass it on to Gavin Kermode with the Arts Department.
Gav, you're still on mute.
There it is. VPA, hands-on learning. Anyway, department chair for the VPA, also tech assistant to my 6-year-old. But anyway, with the changing atmosphere of how we are experiencing the visual performing arts with the students and ourselves, it's changed drastically. But something I've always been very proud of about our department, I love our department. Every teacher in there is so dedicated and talented in their own programs, is that one aspect that we've always tried to cultivate is that everyone has a place in the VPA. There's so many different mediums and performances and speeches that they can give. But now how do we bring that home? How do we bring that same experience that we cultivate in our classroom home? And that's something that I've enjoyed with my colleagues, is trying to help each other develop these new techniques. And the teachers in the department are so good that they come up with just the most creative avenues to engage the students and still provide that unique experience that art has. So it's a challenge, but also kind of an exciting challenge, because it's pushing us to think in a different way on how to reach them. And it's kind of exciting to think, you know, when this is over, whenever that time might be, how that will actually broaden our own programs on how we reach kids and do things in the future. So where it's very different, it's also very exciting. And it's been a lot of fun getting to know the kids the last week and going through all the little glitches, and we'll just keep on rolling. So with that, thank you for listening, and I will hand it over to Adrian Spencer. Thank you.
Thank you, Gavin. You reminded me to unmute myself. So my name is Adrian Spencer, and I am the ELD department chair. ELD stands for English Language Development, which some people don't know. And it used to be called ESL, English as a Second Language. We have a small but very interesting group of English learners at Miramani. And as you can imagine, our goals in the department are to help those students learn English. And we have quite a few newcomers, students who are really new to English. And the challenges for them with distance learning are immense. So what I'd like to ask of parents who are listening in who don't have English learners, which is the majority of parents out there, I would ask that you ask your student, do you have an English learner in your class? Because maybe you could encourage your student to reach out and help that student feel connected, help that student learn English, because this isolation is really hard on our English learners, and we would love to make them feel included in classrooms. They feel comfortable in ELD, but they are spending most of their time in other classrooms where they can feel like they're not really a part of things. So again, I just encourage you to ask your students, hey, do you have an English learner in class? And what can you do to help them feel included? And I appreciate that. And I do not remember who I'm handing it off to, so please help me. I don't know if I was last or second to last.
It's Ms. Boyko.
Okay, go
Ms.
Boyko. I can't, I don't see her, so.
All right, yeah.
So
It's totally okay. It gave me time to remember to unmute myself. So there you have it. So I am Ms. Boyko, and I am one of the computer science teachers at Miramani. And this year, it's been really delightful. We have 2 new people in our program. And so I have lots of new ideas as this year has started on ways to reach out to students from people who are, brand new to Miramonte. So that said, one of our core values is to help students understand that coding isn't just social media and search engines, but it is actually an incredible tool that can be used to cure COVID-19, yay, and also to enable free and open elections. Any of these big problems that our society have are best solved when all people are invited to the table to solve these problems. And I think in coding, we really see this. I think that it's a place where if we are not open to all people in our coding, then there are angles to the problem that we won't foresee, and they will come back to hurt us as a society. So this is one of the things that we work hard for with our students, so that they can understand that coding isn't just a video game, but as we move forward, it's going to be the way that is part of how we determine where we're going as a society. And I really want my students to understand that as we become more and more dependent on artificial intelligence, that we need to have intelligence of all people. And I really do believe, and I want the students to believe, that when everyone is there working together, that's when we're at our best. And that's when we will be able to solve some of these big problems in our world. So we're going to code on. We're going to keep using technology like Zoom. It's amazing that I can teach code and be so bad at Zoom. I told my students, I don't really Zoom. I go like a snail. So anyway, with that, thank you for listening. Thank you for being here tonight. And I think I'm going to hand it back to Julie. Thank you, Julie.
Well, I think that everyone can see what a dynamic and passionate group of teachers we have here. They're also a lot of fun. So enjoyed getting to hear from them. You can hear more from our teachers by going to our website and seeing the teacher videos that will be posted up there. But with that, I'll say goodbye to our chairs.
Go Matt.
And
administrators, you're awesome.
Good team.
Just when I was feeling really silly for messing up the beginning of this presentation, my team came in. I'm going to let in our support staff so we can move on this evening and talk a little bit about student support. All right, student support is a core part of what we do at Miramonte. We cannot discuss student support without our counselors, college and career advisor, and wellness coordinator. So they've joined us in the room here today. As we look forward this year, we know that our students will need our support systems to evolve with the current climate, to be flexible with our changing needs. However, I want to assure you that our counselors will continue to meet with all students annually, checking up on progress toward graduation, helping with class scheduling, and available for appointments. Our College and Career Center will be putting out new expanded programming this year aimed at ensuring that all seniors have individual support on college applications. And because the process of applying to colleges has become even more confusing in the wake of COVID-19, more programming will also be available to support parents in this process. In wellness, we will continue to offer one-on-one appointments with mental health professionals using telehealth, as well as creating spaces for connecting for our students. All our students need support in wellness right now. I would like to pass it off to our support staff to introduce themselves and to tell you a little bit more about what they do.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Watson, and I'm one of the counselors for students with last names A through FIL. And for counseling, we want to share a few things with you that we want you to know about our department this year. So the first thing is that we're still here for our students during distance learning. They're our priority, and we want to support them through this challenging time. The best way to get in touch with a counselor is through email, and all of our emails are posted on the school website.
Hi, my name is Sarah Feinberg. I have the last name's alphabet SCH through Z, and currently I have L's until Miss Connors returns. I also am the NCAA coordinator, so if you have any NCAA questions, please feel free to reach out. Though we're distant, we're still here for you and your students. All students are expected to be in class while the teachers are live. However, we will make time to meet with them during academies, off-campus periods, and virtual breaks and lunches. Counselors will be sending out an email tomorrow with a standing link for each of us for your student to sign up for counseling time slots throughout the year.
Hi, I'm Erica Vasquez. I'm counselor for students with last names LOW through SCA. In addition to students being able to schedule an appointment with us, we will also be reaching out to all of our students individually to schedule grade level meetings. We'll be starting with our seniors throughout the months of September and October, and then moving to our other grades throughout the year. Your students should expect an email from us when it is their time. Lastly, Jackie Alvarado, she is not here tonight, but she has been subbing for Ellen Connors while Ellen has been out on maternity leave. Her alpha is FIN through K. Ellen Connors return on September 1st.
Hey everybody, I'm Stephanie Brady. I run the College and Career Center at Miramonte. Welcome to a new school year. I know that my office is going to be buzzing, as it already has, with questions around the college application process. So here's what I want to assure everybody of. I am still very available, especially to our seniors. The fall's kind of dedicated to them to begin with. So I encourage parents, I encourage students to reach out in the ways that they always have. And as we move forward, I also want to ensure the seniors in particular that this is an unusual year, but that I plan to have everything still the same that it is, including the increased programs that Julie was talking about. So be sure to keep in touch with all of the emails that I will be sending out. So I apologize if I flood your inbox, but it's a great way to be caught up on what you need to be doing now. In addition to our seniors, I know we have a lot of new families, including the freshman family. So I want to assure all of you that throughout their years at Miramonte, I do meet individually with all of the classes. So freshmen will start coming into my office in December to get a formal introduction to the College and Career Center. The sophomores will come in March, where we'll start to talk about the summer programming and planning for the standardized testing as we see what happens with standardized testing. The juniors will become my main focus as we turn into January of 2021. And of course, the seniors are my main focus now. And I think the one thing that I want everybody to understand is what I really believe in terms of college and career at Miramonte is that everyone's an individual. You all have uniquenesses about you. And I really want to make sure that we meet you where you are and we can individualize the process to where you want. So I look forward to a great year. It'll be exciting. It'll be fun. It'll be a roller coaster, but we are all in this together. So have a great year.
Hi, everyone. My name is Andy Nishimi. The students call me Miss Andy, and I am the wellness coordinator at Miramonte. The Wellness Center offers a range of support from informational workshops to individual and group counseling appointments. And we work really closely with the counselors and the psychologists to address students' social, emotional, and behavioral health and wellness overall. So our ultimate goal as a contributor to the student services team is to help students work through whatever challenges are preventing them from really fully engaging in school and then giving them the tools to be able to cope with whatever new challenges arise in their lives. So if you want to make a referral for your child or for another student, you can do so at the Miramonte website under the Wellness Center tab. And we look forward to working with you and supporting your students to make their experience the best that it can be.
Thank you to our support staff for caring so much about our students. We're here to support you, so please reach out to us. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for tonight, and go Mats. To discuss culture and climate, I am bringing in some very special members of our team, our ASB officers. This year, developing a safe and healthy culture and climate is more important than ever. At the heart of this is our commitment to keeping our students connected and engaged. And this means programming from student leadership that is creative, innovative, but no less motivating than our traditional methods. Our leadership class is more than up for this task. So I'd like to now introduce you to our 2020 ASB officers, and they're going to tell you a little bit about what they have planned.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the introductions, Ms. Parks. My name is Eric Johansson, and I am this year's ASB president. I know this past year has been difficult for a variety of reasons, but it still remains our goal in leadership to do anything we can to help our community at Miramonte and beyond during this trying time. Whether that is learning from COVID or striving for racial equality, the leadership class is dedicated to helping our community come out of this stronger together. Now, despite these very important issues, we're also dedicated to making sure that typical high school events are able to occur. We will try our hardest to ensure that we will make the best out of this coming school year. We are planning virtual rallies, hopefully ball and prom for next spring for our juniors and seniors, and many more new and innovative events that utilize our new online reality. Furthermore, we're also exploring new ways to help the student body get involved in leadership activities and decisions. In a time where some may feel distant from friends and family, we intend on creating a culture of unity and making sure our student body and parents feel heard. Thank you, and go Mats.
Hi, my name is Lauren Berryhill, and I am the ASB Vice President. Although we're not at school right now, we're still planning some Miramonte's most fun and exciting events to be held virtually. This will include things like rallies, which is one of the school's favorites. We will also start incorporating new school-wide events to connect with students, such as Kahoots, Instagram challenges, and more. Although there's a lot of uncertainty, we're looking forward to making some new events and getting student feedback. If you have any ideas, we're open to suggestions, and you can email any of us or DM our Instagram. We can't wait to see what this year holds for us. Go Mats!
Hi, my name is Kinsey Dunn, and I'm the ASB Secretary. One goal that ASB has to keep the students at Miramonte High School united during distance learning is to continue to publicize about all of the events that the leadership class puts on, whether that be a virtual 8-ball tournament or a Wii competition. To reach all the students, we are planning to really utilize our school Instagram, mats.stampede, so make sure you let your student know to follow that. And we are also going to be sending out regular emails to all the student body to make sure they're all connected and in the know about any leadership events that go on. I'm really looking forward to this year, and go Mats.
Hi, my name is Jordan Bruner, and I am ASB Treasurer at Miramonte. My goal for keeping students connected this year would be really focusing on kickstarting our clubs, because clubs have such a vital and unique way of connecting our students. The student to club relationship is something that nothing can truly replace. It becomes a safe space for most of our students. When our clubs restart for the year, I feel that we will be bringing back a major form of community to Miramonte. And in times like these, family and community are what we all really need right now. Okay. Thanks so much. Go Mats.
Hi Mats, I'm Aya Zabetian, and I'm this year's ASB at-large, which is a new leadership position here at Miramonte. This year, we're going to have to work especially hard to connect the student body. One of our main goals to do so is through the spread of racial equity. This is so important right now, especially at Miramonte, to talk about issues relating to racism. We will be working closely with the new anti-racist leadership class and other groups like the Black Student Union to move forward in making Miramonte a united and inclusive community. I'm super excited for this year, and go Mats.
Listening to all of you, I'm super excited for this year too. Thank you to our ASB officers. They have actually been working all summer long, and so they never really stopped. And I know that they're going to bring great things to all of our students this year. Aya had a great transition because our next group is going to come in and talk about our equity work at Miramonte. So I'm going to say goodbye to our ASB officers and bring in our next group. So in addition to great programming to keep our students connected, a safe and healthy culture and climate also means ensuring that our school is safe for every student. And this requires that we address how systemic racism has impacted our community. This year, we have a new leadership class devoted to social equity led by our equity coach, Ms. Kristen Plant. In addition, our parent community has partnered in this work and formed a specific group for Miramani equity, diversity, and inclusion. Together, we can meet our goals of becoming an anti-racist school. I will now defer to Ms. Plant and Ms. Berryhill to speak about our school equity work.
Good evening, Matador families. My name is Kristen Plant, and it is my privilege to work with our students, staff, and parents and community partners to help create an anti-racist culture at Miramonte that acknowledges the role and responsibility of white privilege. We are focusing on 3 key action steps this year towards making the anti-racist school that we all want. One is to build a comprehensive curriculum for all students to engage in discussions on race. And I encourage you parents, ask your student about the 2 lessons they've already had in their cohort academy where they've had courageous conversations about race. My sons are younger than high school age, but we were just enjoying one of the documentaries together that was assigned for homework in that class. And next time you're at the dinner table, maybe you want to ask your children about the compass or the 4 agreements. I bet you'll have an interesting conversation within your own family. A second action item for this year involves supporting our cultural and affinity group clubs on campus with school-wide activities and events promoting diversity and inclusion. And if the Equiteam meeting that Principal Parks and I sat in on yesterday is any indication, our students are really going to do some exciting things this year, despite the obstacles of distance learning, to make sure that those clubs are celebrated and promoted. And a third goal for this year is to develop a team of alumni leaders to help facilitate breakout sessions. As the public speaking teacher, I've seen the power of bringing young graduates back on campus to use their voices and help teachers and students move to the next level in our learning. And so this time of personal reflection and courageous conversation about equity at Miramonte is super exciting. Even and especially for folks like me who have spent most of our lives at Miramonte High School. And with that, I'm tremendously, it's my privilege to introduce a parent ally in this work, Amy Berryhill.
Thank you, Kristen. My name is Amy Berryhill, and I'm representing the newly formed Miramonte Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Group of Parents. We are passionate about our mission to create programming for parents to support a policy for equality and a sense of belonging for all families. Through coordination with the administration and the students, as well as the other diversity and inclusion groups at the schools within our district. I invite you to check out our page on the Miramonte Parents Club website. You can take a screenshot of my background here, it's at the top, or you can see it listed at the top of the page in our link at our Instagram bio. On our website, you'll find loads of educational resources, numerous pages on a spreadsheet. You'll also find contact information for our group and dates for future interactive and educational parent programs. Our first book club meeting will be held via Zoom this coming Tuesday, August 25th, to discuss Dr. Kendi's book, How to Be an Anti-Racist. Please follow us tonight, take out your phones, and if you're on Instagram, it's at MHS Parents Diversity Group. We'd love to hear from you, so please reach out to us. Let us know, what do you need from us? What ideas do you have? Let's keep the lines of communication open and work together so that all families feel welcome at Miramonte. Back to you, Julie.
This work, as my friend, teacher, Ms. Miranda at Las Lomas says, is love work. And I look forward to doing this work with all of you this year. Thank you, Ms. Plant and Ms. Berryhill, for coming this evening. And we look forward to hearing more throughout the year about this exciting work that our students will be doing and that our parents will be doing as well. It is now my pleasure to introduce our Parents Club president coming into the room, Trisha Young. She's coming. Seems like she might be delayed. So I can go ahead and mirror her pieces. So this year we have a new organization heading up our fundraising. The Parents Club and EFO have come together to create one. And this year, that means for all of you, there is just one ask for one donation. The fundraising goal that's been set for this year is on your screen in front of you. It's a lofty goal. And the one ask comes down to approximately $1,300 per student. Our budget that we get from one is critical for our work here at Miramonte High School, including 11 core classes that we offer for our students that we could not offer if we did not have funding from one. If expenses go down this year and we raise more than we need, we'll apply it to savings and reduce next year's budget first. I want to thank you as your principal for the tremendous support that this community has given our school. I say it every year and I'll say it again, we absolutely cannot do the work at the level we want to for your students without these contributions. So thank you so much, every one of you who has participated in EFO and in Parents Club and now with Miramonte One over the years. The other important information that we wanted to pass on to you this evening is the key role that the Miramonte Parents Club plays in keeping everyone informed. And I'm seeing Trisha come into the waiting room right now, so I'm going to see if she can come in. Hi, Trisha. You're on mute.
Thank you. Sorry about that. My computer started. Hi, I'm Trisha Young. I'm Miramonte Parents Club Chair, and I wanted to take this moment to introduce myself and welcome you to Back to School Night. And although it's a very different start to the school year, I am so impressed by the Miramonte teaching staff, administration, and district staff who have honestly worked tirelessly to start this school year in distance learning. This year, we are kicking off One Orinda, which is comprised of the 4 Orinda elementary schools, OIS, Miramonte Parents Club, as well as EFO. We have combined forces to fundraise more effectively and to streamline the process for all of our families. Here at Miramonte, this year's fundraising goal is just under $1 million. The one ask is $1,300 per student, and those funds are spent here at Miramonte. They pay for electives, teachers, College and Career Center, as well as the Wellness Center, and the work around equity and inclusion, as Amy mentioned. Please support our efforts and your student. We rely on your generosity now more than ever to keep our programs going. We also want to stay connected as a community, and in order to do that, please make sure you're receiving the MATS news weekly, as well as your students' class-specific communications. You can always email our VP of Communications, and she will make sure you're included on those lists. It's also helpful to follow Miramonte Parents Club on Facebook and Instagram, as well as your class-specific social media. There you'll find the latest updates and last-minute reminders. We also hold monthly Parents Club meetings, and for the time being, those will be held via Zoom. So please plan to join us. Let's make it a great year. Go Mats.
Go Mats. Thank you so much for joining us this evening and being patient with us through some of our technical challenges throughout the night. We really appreciate your engagement. Now I want to invite you to visit our website. If you click on the Back to School Night link on the middle of the website, you'll go to a page that will have all videos of all teachers. Introducing themselves and getting to know you in this virtual environment. So please check that out. It'll be posted through this evening. And then after that, those videos will be housed on teachers' individual Canvas pages, which you will be able to access with your parent logon. So thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to a great year, and go Mats.